We're running near the end of our list of mates, and so what we're left with are some of the oddball type mate relationships that you find in assemblies between parts. These in particular are the lock, fix, and in-place mates. Let's open the engine assembly again to demonstrate these mates. Again, select the engine for motion. The first of these mates that I want to talk about is the fixed constraint. Fix is not really a mate, but it's the condition that's behind the F that's in front of some of the parts in your feature manager in the assembly. Let's open up a brand new assembly and then insert component existing part and just browse for any part. Put it in your assembly. Notice that the first part that's put into the assembly has an F next to it. That F stands for fixed. That means that I can't just grab the part and try to move it around. Notice SOLIDWORKS is giving me a message that says the selected component is fixed. It cannot be moved. So if you want to unfix something, the way to do that is to right-click on it and select float. Now float, unfortunately, also starts with an F. You just have to remember that the F stands for fixed. Once you've floated something, it may still be subject to other mates, but it's no longer subject to the fix. You can just move it around, and then you can fix it again at any time. You can right-click on it wherever it is and click on fix. Now that's fixed, and again, I can't move it. So it's always a good idea for the first part in the assembly to be fixed. You may have other parts in the assembly that are also fixed for other reasons, but the first part, at the minimum, should be fixed. The second oddball mate I want to talk about is called lock. And if we look in our motor assembly here, our engine, under the exhaust manifold, let's take a look here. We expand this and look at the mates. The only thing that's holding this in place is a coincident relationship. Well, I'm uncomfortable with that. I need more than just a coincident relationship, because that means that this exhaust manifold could actually move around within a plane, and it could rotate on that plane. There's a lot of ways that this thing could move that are undesirable. What I want to do is create a lock relationship between the cylinder head and the exhaust manifold. Let's first change it up so that the exhaust manifold is a little more visible to us. Change it to default display and turn off the transparency. In order to create a lock relationship, let's go to the Mate tool, select these two parts, and the lock pops right up. So let's just click on that. You don't have to have any sort of prior relationship, but other relationships don't hurt the lock. If the cylinder head moves in any way, the exhaust manifold is going to move along with it. Lock is a great way to ensure that two parts maintain their relationship without needing to explicitly create mates between the two parts. The third type of oddball mate relationship is called in place. And in place only occurs in a specific circumstance. When you create a new part in the context of the assembly, you select a face to place the new part on, and that establishes the in-place relationship. If you look at this assembly, you'll notice that there are a couple in-place mate relations. In-place mates should be used sparingly. In fact, you can't even use them directly. If you look in the Mate Property Manager, you will never find the in-place mate in here. The only way to create an in-place mate is by creating a new part. Later on in this course, we will cover in-context relationships and building parts in the context of an assembly. But right here would be a good time to show you how to start creating a part in the context of an assembly and also initiate an in-place mate. So we'll go to Insert, Component, New Part, and notice that from the green check on the cursor to the message on the status bar at the bottom, SOLIDWORKS is asking us to select the face or plane on which to position the new part. And I want to look at the list of mates at the same time. Just going to click on this face. SOLIDWORKS will automatically create a new part, put me in the sketch for that new part, and mate the front plane of that new part onto the face that I've just selected. You see that the in-place 5 mate has just been added to the list of mates. The only thing you can do with an in-place mate is delete it. You can't edit it in any way, but it can get messed up if the face of the original part that you selected goes away.